We're going to do some makeup this morning. Skincare. We're going to do skincare this morning. But it's going to look like I'm doing makeup. Stick around. I'll show you what I'm talking about. My name is Barb. I have mature skin. I'm 67 years old, and I have been using a new product for the last 2 months and have been blown away by the finish that it gives and how it is treating my skin every single day. It is a skincare infused makeup, Korean skincare infused makeup. Hey, Susie, right on time. I have already done a few things to prep my skin already. I did my morning skincare. I started off with the 4-in-1 Hydrating Mist by Bellamy. This is kind of a prep your skin, lock in moisture situation. I did my brows and I put on some eye primer. That's it, eyelid primer. So I'm gonna go in with this. This is the Bellamy's mattifying primer and I'm really liking it. So I'm gonna put a little bit on my fingers. It looks like so. It's very sheer and I just kind of place it all over. But what it does is it really blurs imperfections, pores, and so on. And I just rub it in. It's super light. You don't even feel it on your skin. It's really, really lovely. But it just kind of gives you a nice blurred out look, which we all like a little bit, don't we? Then I'm going to take my Bellamy Flawless Foundation. I always shake it up a little bit because we want that Korean skincare to get all infused in the makeup. So I take a little bit of this and I just gonna pump it on my hand, okay? I like to do it that way because so little is needed. You can always build if you need to, but I like to start off small. So I take my foundation brush and I just go in there and I just kind of load up my brush a little bit, okay? So it's on there and I'm just gonna start to stipple and press and start to just disperse that color. It is loaded with goodness, this makeup is. Just loaded with vitamin C, vitamin E, hyaluronic acid, collagen, vegan collagen, baobab oil. So your skin is getting treated all day long. And you're left with the most beautiful finish. It's just beautiful. Just kind of tapping it all over. So easy to apply. This brush is a brush by Bellamy. I like it very much. And it really, it's the foundation brush. And I really like it. I've tried other brushes and came back to this one. Because I have a lot of makeup brushes. But this one is the best, I think, for applying the foundation. Just putting it everywhere. See how nice job that does to cover things? And you guys, I'm using so little. It's hard to believe how little makeup I'm using, but I'll show you after I'm done. I always have it left over. Always do. I need to find a way to rebottle it. All right, I think that's good. Nice, even coverage. Redness has been toned down. Perfect. See, that's one pump and I've got the coverage. But if there's areas that you need to add a little more attention to, feel free to do so. Now I'm going to take my concealer. Now my concealer I use is the same shade as my foundation. I don't want my under eyes too bright. I go on that route as I've gotten older. So you can either dab it on your hand, or what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to press it in that trough area, okay? Just to camouflage that trough. Very, very little is on there, okay? You can use your foundation brush to do that, or you can use like a smaller brush. Let me see if I can find my smaller brush. Something like that, but this works as well. I'm going to take this and I'm going to do the same kind of motion, just kind of press, stippling it and blending it out. And then I just do a little bit, light touch, and just fill that in. Because this liquid makeup / skincare is so loaded with moisturizing properties like hyaluronic acid, it does not crease. It does not crease. So that is the win. And it's so long lasting. Very little. Look how that took care of that trough. Perfect. Now, again, the concealer can also be used in other parts of your face. If there's an area that you need to camouflage, use your concealer to do so. It's the same color as my foundation, but it's a different formula. So I hate to use the word thicker because it's not thick, but it's a different formula. So you'll get a little bit more coverage in areas that you may need it. And I'm just patting. Hey, Sherry. Glad you had time to jump on instead of out selling glow juice. Girl, you kill me. Okay, so there. Now, doesn't that do a nice job? And you can see it doesn't look like I have a whole lot on. I don't. Now, if I wanted to, I could take this concealer as well and dab a little on my hand and go in to areas that I wanted to camouflage a little redness. My redness has just really gone away over the years with just good skincare, but there's a little redness on my nose. There's nothing wrong with going in there and just kind of tapping it in if you need to, right? Anywhere you have something you want to cover, you can put it right on over your foundation. It won't make it too heavy. Okay? I think that's good. Now, my brightener. So I have a concealer that is a lighter shade than the ones that I've used. I don't use a lot of brightener on my face, but where I like to put it is outside these folds a little bit to kind of make them a little bit less noticeable. I don't do a whole lot of it around my eyes. So I'm going to take the lighter shade, same situation. I'm going to dab a little bit on my hand, and then I'm going to go in with that same small brush. Where did I set it? Right there. And I'm going to take that brighter shade and I'm going to go on the outside. So I'm going to kind of go here, just on the outside of that area, and kind of feather it outward. Just to soften that a little bit. And I kind of start right where that fold is. If you find you get a little too bright, just go in with your foundation brush and soften it, because there'll be color left on there. But it just softens that area, adds a little brightness, which is fine down the center of your face. But you see how that just softened it a little bit? It's a nice trick. You can do it anywhere that you want to kind of camouflage a little bit of a indentation, because what it's doing is it's bringing this forward on the outside, right? So then that line isn't as prominent. Just softens. Just softens. Now, let's go in with a define and kind of contour shade. This is called Mocha Silk. Now, what I'm going to do with this can be used as a bronzer. This can be used as a contour. And I'm going to kind of do it both. So I'm going to use a brush like this, a denser brush, and I'm just going to go in and take a little on there, and I'm going to just kind of go around my hairline and bring it down a little bit. So I'm going to just contour and bronze with this shade. Okay, nice and subtle. Same thing here. I'm just going to kind of tap it along my cheekbone, bring it up onto my cheek a little bit so that I can just kind of have that, bring a little warmth to my face. I'm just doing a nice and easy kind of look. right? Then let's take a little bit down here, run it along there, underneath the jaw, not on the jaw, because you do not want a 5 o'clock shadow. And right here, bring it down, and here. And bring it down. So a little defining and a little bronzing all in one fell swoop. Okay, now let's go in with some cheek color. I am going to use Apricot Sorbet. It's one of my favorites. And I'm going to take a blush brush, put a little there, kind of start like how I like to do it is I use the center of my pupil, come down and bring it up. Gives me a nice line to add my blush and give me a little lift. Okay. Great, great color. A little on my nose, a little up here. Go. Now, you see how that mattifying primer really has toned on. I tend to have a whole lot of glow to my skin, and it's just nature of my skin and the skincare I use and etc. But that really kind of tones it down. All right. Now, at this point, what I'm going to do, before I even start on my eyes and my mascara, I'll go back in with my 4-in-1. This is going to set what I have on my face in just a couple swipes. That's all I'm going to do. Moisture, 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 moisture. This can be used throughout the day if you're feeling a little dry and you want a little refresh too. So I kind of let that dry a little bit. Now I'm going to take that same contour shade, that Mocha Silk, and that is going to be used on my eyes as my kind of my base color. And I'm going to use a blend, not a blend brush, the bright brush from Saint, and I'm going to use that fluffy end, and I'm just going to start to play that down. It can't be any easier. This cream formula is so easy as an eyeshadow. I have been gravitating to this on a daily because it really, really glides on beautifully. Bringing it up. Such a natural look. I did prime my eyes before I started with the Sigma eye primer. Works good. Eye open, just kind of start to cover that up. All right, let's run a little bit on from the smaller end and go in and just do a little bit of an eyeliner. Get that meaty part filled in, so right there. To recede that area a little bit. Now, I think I'm going to do a little tiny bit of shimmer. I think I'm going to grab a soft color. I'm going to do Riviera. It's a shade by Saint right there. And I'm going to go right into the inner corner and bring it out to the center of my eye. Little pop. Okay, just lighten it up a little bit. All right, let's add some mascara, and then we'll go on and do a lip, neutral lip. lots to do today. I'm also going to add a little bit of powder. I want you to see that look. If you wanted to add a little powder on top of the hydrating spray for a little bit of a more matte look, or just to kind of keep oil at bay or perspiration at bay. If you're going to do a combination of the hydrating mist and the powder, you do the mist first, right? You don't want to put moisture on top of powder. I just this morning ordered Bellamy's powder. I'm going to try it. I ordered it in the shade medium. I've got the powder from Saint, but I want to try Bellamy's. So, there we go. I think I'm going to need a little bit more color on my cheeks. Yep. Lips make such a difference too, though, once you get your lips on. I'm going to grab the brown from Tarte and put a little bit of that on my bottom lashes. Kind of just focus on the outer corner. Like so. Easy. Now, bang. Let's take some more apricot sorbet. Just want a tad more. Yeah, just a tad more. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, now let's take a lip pencil. This one, am I grabbing is the French Rose? Yeah, this is French Rose. This is one of my favorites. I have 3 now. One of the most neutral colors, I think, and it mixes with a lot. So I kind of just start at this outer corner, come up. Just kind of, I have quite bow lips, so I kind of soften it a little bit. Kind of arch it a little, or round it out a little bit. Don't go all the way to the corner. Go just outside that area. Otherwise you'll look like the Joker. And I'm really liking defining my lips. There comes a point as you mature that they all kind of blur. And a pencil really can do the trick. And this can also be used just as your lip color if you'd like. You can put it all over your lips. Then I'm going to take, what am I taking? I think it's the most neutral one. Yeah, Love Spell. Love Spell. Very, very neutral. And I'm going to fill in neutral. I think we need a second coat of mascara, and then I will be good to go. Except on mine, I'm going to put a little powder. I promised I'd do you that. So let's say it's hot time in the city. It's going to be hot and humid for us again. I'm going to take some powder. Now, I look a lot more matte than I normally would, simply by using this mattifying primer. I think I will take that same dense brush. Thanks, Susie. That same dense brush. My powder from Saint is in this little container because I got tired of it breaking. And I'm going to just dab a little in there, and then I tap it off. Okay? That's the best way to do it, so you have extra, you don't get, get rid of some of that loose. If you think you have too much, go like this. All right? And I'm going to take this, and I'm simply going to tap it like right here and around here. You can even do under your eyes if you want. And that even makes it a little more matte, if that is the look. And it'll just absorb any kind of, if you tend to be on the oily side, it just absorbs a little bit more of that. There you have it. How easy is that? And my skin is going to be treated all day to Korean skincare. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Thank you for joining me, guys. Appreciate it so much. Can always count on you guys. If you have any questions about anything, you know where to find me. I'll be here. I hope you guys have a great Saturday. This girl has a whole lot to do. Starting off with making myself a protein shake. Got more pina colada. That's what I'm going to do. I got ripe bananas. I got to use them up. So you guys have a wonderful day. You know I'll see you soon. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Susie. Thanks, Sherry, for being here. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.